Today we're going to be talking about the standard represent data in tables and graphical displays to describe typical weather conditions expected during a particular season. So since this standard is pretty big, I'm going to just talk about some of it. We're going to talk about representing data in tables to describe typical weather conditions expected during a particular season. So for this standard, some students might have some misconceptions or misunderstandings. Students might think that it rains the same amount each month for every year. So let's say students think that it rains 20 inches for the month of August. They might think that it rains that same amount each year in August. Another misconception is that it rains the same amount each day in the month for every year. So let's say for the first 3 days in October, it rains 2 inches each day. Students might think that it rains 2 inches for the first 3 days in October. Students might also think that the temperature remains the same all day long. That is not the case, since the sun comes out and the temperature normally increases throughout the day because of the sun. One other misconception students might have is that the temperature for each month is the same every year. So students might think that in December, since it's cold, they might think it's 45 degrees every single December. But since the weather is always changing, all of these are always changing. So for the exploration activity, the students are going to log on to a website that's Florida Climate Center for Kids. And so that website has a list of all of the years, and the students can click on the year and they can see the average temperature and average rainfall for each month. So for the exploration activity, they're going to go online and look at the temperature and rainfall for these 3 months for the last 3 years. And so they're going to record this information into a table, which I will later show you how to do. So this is just kind of basically what they're going to get from the website. So it's not in the table yet, it's just kind of written down so they can kind of look at it and then sketch it out at their desk in a table. So I did 2015 and 16 just so the students don't have all of the answers. So I wrote down the months, September, October, and November, and I recorded the average temperature and rainfall for each month. So I would click on the year on the website, and so I clicked on 2015, and I clicked on the month of September. And so if you just scroll down, it shows you the average temperature and rainfall for the month. So that's the same for all of these. So to put this in a table, I'm going to write the year at the top just so I know what year. And then I'm going to write the month, the temperature, and rainfall. I'm labeling it like this so I know what is what. And so it's not just kind of all over the place like this and just kind of like what. Doesn't make sense. So the first month we have for 2015 is September, and that's fall. So the temperature for this month is 79.1 degrees. And then the rainfall is 6.36 inches. So I'm going to draw a line underneath so they're all separated, the month, the temperature, and the rainfall. That way, so it's all kind of spaced out so we can see everything more clearly. So we're going to go down to the next month, right underneath September, and write October. So we're going to look at the temperature for October and record it in our temperature section, which is 71.3 degrees. Now we're going to look at the rainfall. So the rainfall in 2015 is 8.07 inches. So we're going to record that under the rainfall section. The last month we have is November, and the temperature is 65.6 degrees, and so that's under the temperature column. And then the rainfall is 7.21 inches. So now we can kind of look at the information in a more organized way. That way so it makes more sense and it's a little bit more clear for us to see than just kind of scattered all over the place. So I'm going to do the same thing for 2016. I'm going to write the month, temperature, and rainfall, since that is what I'm wanting the students to look at for the fall season here in Florida for the last 3 years. So we're going to do the month. So the first month in fall is September. And the temperature for that is 81.9 degrees. And we're going to record the rainfall under the rainfall section, which is 3.36 inches. We're going to draw the line to separate them, and we're going to move down to October. The average temperature is 74.4 degrees, and the rainfall is 0 inches. So there was no rain in October in 2016. Now we're going to write the last month, which is 65.4 degrees, and the rainfall is 0.86 inches. So now that 2016 is in a table, and so is 2015, we can kind of compare the two a little easier. So we can see that the temperature is 81 in 2016, and the temperature in 2015 is 79.1, so those are kind of close, so you can kind of predict what the temperature will be for the next year a little bit. The rainfall is a little different, so you can kind of compare by looking at the two tables side by side a little easier than kind of having everything all over the place. Since the students are supposed to do this for 3 years, they can have a better prediction for the next year, since they have more tables to look at and more numbers to compare to each other. So the students can make predictions based off of the tables that they have made.